Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Fit4Lyfe Lifestyle Podcast. I am still Anthony Changes, and she is still the one and only to not stay still, the hustler's hustler, the shaker and baker, Sandy Tachi.
Woohoo, that was a good one. That's a good introduction. Yeah.
Right on.
Welcome. I like it. Hey, listen, as long as I am the one and only, I'm good to go.
Right on. The one and only.
Yeah.
The one and only.
Awesome. What's happening?
Not a whole lot. I see, things are already off to a
interesting start.
We've
got balloons.
We do.
We've got food.
Right. Another container with cutlery taped to the top. There's no macros listed on the top.
I promise you it's healthy.
I believe you. What is this?
That is mashed potatoes.
We gonna see if this is mashed potatoes.
This is like Thanksgiving mashed potatoes. Mm-hmm. Does it smell good?
It does.
Okay. You know I like to cook. I like to feed people. So here we are.
This is cauliflower. I should have known.
Does it taste like cauliflower?
A little bit. It does taste like potatoes.
Okay.
What are those potato skins in here for?
Those are potatoes. It's not like imitation, okay? It's not out of the box. Those are actual potatoes. Mm-hmm. And there is cauliflower rice in it.
So it's like a 50-50. Oh, shit.
Don't be spitting everywhere.
Can't help it.
Yeah, so it's a 50-50. Yeah, it's a 50-50 mix.
Okay.
It's a great way to just kind of, hide the veggies for the most part. It's funny because when I eat it, I don't taste it, but obviously somebody that's, wait.
So now I'm just, you got to realize, going forward, I'm only going to expect Sandy to feed me cauliflower.
Right?
Rice. Some version.
What is next?
This is cauliflower chicken tenders.
Yeah. No, but for real, I was, it's mashed, it's red potatoes, cauliflower rice, everything cooked, and then using a handheld mixer to really get it mixed and fine. And then seasonings and all that good stuff.
What's never mind. I don't want to ask you your secrets.
I know, right? My secrets. But yeah, that's it.
The texture is good. I like it.
Yes, it's not like cauliflower rice. But yeah, you have to blend it really good in order to get it that smooth mashed potato feel. So yeah, I could see that.
Okay, she's 2 for 2 with the cauliflower shit.
I know, I see that. What's going to be next?
Cauliflower baby food.
Listen, there is one thing that I've seen recently where people are putting cauliflower rice in their protein shakes. Now that I will not make, and I will not bring you either because I just think that's just straight up nasty.
You just saved our friendship right there. Had you brought me a cauliflower protein shake,
no, Sandy would get cut off. I don't know. I think I tried to make it one time, and
this will be the last episode of the podcast.
I'm sure. I don't get this. Is it supposed to be because the cauliflower rice, I don't know if you're supposed to cook it and then put it in because it was not mixed. It was kind of still ice. Don't get sick. No. Yeah, it wasn't good. So all you people mixing cauliflower rice in your protein shakes is not good. I don't like it.
Nope.
I'm not gonna make it.
You know how Beth last episode was I draw the line at kale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You draw the line.
That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
All right, so that was really good.
Good. I smell it. It smells good. Nice.
I mean, I wish I had some turkey.
I know. I'm sorry. Next time.
That's right.
No.
No one's perfect.
I'll bring you a tofu turkey.
Listen, I am not your test dummy, but I will be because I like food.
Yeah, we do too, and which is why, like I said, whenever I cook and I have something, I'll bring it. We did one year a vegan Thanksgiving, and that was interesting.
I will flip this table over right now.
Yes, that was very interesting because I really did try to I made a vegan meatloaf. It was good. It was made with lentils and rice or whatever. So it was good. Had that and then vegetables because you can't. Obviously that's vegan as long as you keep it vegan. But we had no turkey. Well, we had turkey for the other side of the family, but we didn't eat any turkey. It was a very interesting Thanksgiving. I don't know. It was 1 year, one and done.
Was that 2020? Because that'd be the only kind of year that I could have. Right? I would imagine.
It wasn't. It was the 1 year where we decided cold turkey to go vegan. And it was I think it was 2016.
Cold turkey, vegan Thanksgiving.
Right?
It don't make sense.
It was 2016, I think, or 17, and we had vegan Thanksgiving. My dad kind of looked at me with what has happened to you?
Checking your temperature.
Listen,
you all right?
I accept you, but this is just strange. But it was good. It was good.
All right, so we got that out of the way.
We
I like
do.
that. Now, you want to tell me about what's going on with these balloons?
I know, right? Let's see if they could guess. They can guess. Something that's been, I mean, honestly, like, I've seen this name hashtag all over social media now, which is absolutely crazy. And if you guys can see, there's seven red balloons. There's 5, I think, black balloons, and 1 that says heart on it. So hashtag 75 hard.
Right on.
So boom. All right. So that's our introduction.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about 75 hard.
Yes.
But like even more than just 75 hard, you've completed
We're
this.
talking about a top secret that's been under wraps for since January.
Yeah.
Since January.
Yep.
So.
And I've kept my mouth shut. I don't understand how hard this was. I wanted to tell the world, like, she's crazy. She's crazy.
I think there was 2 people that knew. So Jason and you. And then there was 2 people outside of my community, I guess, just 2 people on social media that I know. Right. One that lives in Georgia, and then another one that I just met through the Explant journey, and she also was completing it also, and I was like, oh, thank God I know somebody else that's doing this. let me connect with you, and because you kind of, I needed that, like, I needed something, right. But I didn't want the noise from like here, like, I don't know.
So that's why you kept it. That's why you limited the number of people that told.
Yeah.
You didn't really tell anyone at the gym.
Yeah, no, nobody knew here except you and Jason, unless Jason told somebody, which is highly possible. I don't know, but
Jason spilled the beans.
I know. Oh no, there were some comments made at this event on Saturday that had me thinking, did he tell somebody?
I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah,
I didn't tell a soul.
I wanted to keep it under wraps. I had found out about this program, which is hashtag 75 hard. If you guys don't know, maybe some of you guys are like, what the hell is she talking about? 75 hard is a 75-day program. I found out it's designed by Andy Frisella, and I found out about it probably about, I would say 4 to 6 months ago. I was just listening to Andy Frisella's podcast, randomly just listening to his podcast, and I fell in love with his style and his beliefs. I guess we have a lot of very similar beliefs.
Because he's got like a no nonsense, no bullshit
kind of style. Right. Very alpha male. You either like him or you hate him. You curse in every other sentence. So it's like some people like it and they love it and they dig it, and some people are very offended by it, which is fine. Not everybody's gonna like everybody.
Suck
it's
it
fine.
Up, buttercup.
Yeah, exactly. So I just fell in love with his podcast. Very similar views. He's got a lot of podcasts from like COVID and a lot of similar views and stuff like that. So one day I was listening and he mentioned 75 hard, and I was like, what the hell is this? How do I not know about it? So I searched in his podcast and found like the original episode from years ago, a program that he designed. Took him years to design it.
So this isn't something new. He made this years ago.
Yeah, he made this years ago, and I think he maybe did it a couple years ago. I want to say 2017, 2018, maybe somewhere around there. So it's been out for a couple years. But quite honestly, I never heard of it.
I mean, not until like the end of last year.
Right, I never heard of it. So I was like, okay, well, this is cool. And knowing me, I like to do research on things like this, different programs and stuff. I read about it and I told Jason about it. Because I told him, I said, man, there's a couple people that I have like a handful of people that I would love to do this program with, that I would love to take with me to do this program. So I really feel like it's something that could change them. And I told Jason, and he was like, I don't know if he's like, I don't know if I can do it because of schedules and things like that. So the 75 hard program is 75 days. There's a couple different task items that you have to hit on. So I'll try to remember what they are.
And every single day for 75 days.
Every single day for 75 days. So you have to drink 1 gallon of water. Okay. You have to do 2 workouts, 2 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside, and they cannot be consecutive. So you can't come here to the gym and run 45 minutes outside and then take a class right after. They can't be consecutive. They have to be 2 separate workouts.
Gotcha.
One has to be outside. It has to be 45 minutes. Doesn't matter what kind of workout it is. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. You have to follow a meal plan. You decide whatever you want to. You have to follow a meal plan, your own diet, stuff like that.
But with that meal plan,
yeah,
zero cheating, zero deviations.
Correct. No deviations, no changing it up, things like that. You have to do, what's the other thing? You have to read 10 pages of personal development every single day. It cannot be an audiobook. It cannot be a non-fictional. Like, it has to be something that's actually going to feed your brain to something like good information.
Right. No fiction.
10 pages.
Just
10 pages.
Some sort of self-help.
Yeah, 10 pages, regardless of how slow you read, regardless of how fast you read, regardless of the book. It just needs to be self-help, and it needs to be 10 pages.
Do you know if it could be a digital?
Yeah, it could be digital.
Okay.
Just can't be audio. You know what I mean?
I know like the iBooks.
Yeah.
In on the iPhones, you can increase the size of that font.
Yeah. But you're still hitting the same page. You know what I mean? So because I read one and it's still like page 77. No matter how large I make the print, it's still page 77 until you go to the next page.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to cheat.
Right? I know, right? You're already deviating from the plan.
I'm not built for this.
Yeah, right? And if you're questioning, well, can I do this? No deviating from the plan. Zero, none. Right. So then you had to read that. You had to take a progress picture every single day, regardless of good days, bad days, time of the day. Progress picture, and it can't be like a selfie, like like for Instagram. Woo!
Click. Right.
Yeah, so progress picture every single day. No alcohol whatsoever, not a sip, I guess you could smell the alcohol, but don't deviate from the plan. No alcohol at all, none. You can cook with it if it's like cooked out, I guess, but no alcohol, and I think that's it. I'm trying to remember.
Was there any? Wasn't there one about like
so
a hobby
excited.
or something to that effect, or am I making something up?
No, that might be a different phase.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's what it was.
Maybe a hobby.
Yeah, like you had to pick something up that you had never done before.
Maybe that's a different phase.
Yeah. Maybe.
Which we could talk about that because I didn't even know about these other phases either.
Yeah, again, like I had no idea. It's like I've seen recently this big huge trend in 75 hard, and a number of people starting it this year, and one of the people that I follow on social media finished it, and then immediately like phase 1 starts in 90 days or whatever, however long it was, and I was like,
the hell?
Then what was that? Like if you're starting phase 1, what was this whole 75 hard?
That was the boot camp that they consider it. Oof. So that this is considered the boot camp, which I learned after, which we could talk about, after as well, because I didn't know about the other phases. Again, like I had just heard about it in this podcast. I was like, this is a really cool idea. I started researching it, started listening all to Andy's 75 hard related podcast so I can understand it a little bit better. Because honestly, I really thought this was going to be 75 easy.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to hashtag 75 easy. Ooh. Because I'm already like a gallon of water, check. Meal plan, check. Workouts, I could figure that out.
You own a gym, right?
I'm like, I could figure that out. Progress picture, easy as hell. Personal development, I've been doing that for the past 7 years from my background with like Beachbody and things like that, which is something that they just drill into your head. I'm like, check, I got that. Meal plan, I said, check. The only thing that I thought was going to be hard, even the no alcohol. I don't even drink. Right, So I'm like, check.
I would think the progress pictures, while probably the easiest thing to get done, would be the easiest thing to stumble on.
Right. So the biggest thing that they speak about with this program is that the easier the task, the higher the chances of failing that task, because it slips your mind because you don't think about it. Like doing the workouts, that's like with intention, and these workouts also have to be with intention. It's not like, oh well, today I gotta wash my car outside, so I'm gonna use that as my outdoor workout because maybe I'm gonna work in like 10 squats in between while I'm washing my car. Like everything has to be intentional, but at the same time, nobody's tattletaling on you. Nobody's like, oh, well, Sandy didn't do this, and I saw Sandy eating out at this restaurant. That doesn't, fall in. You can do things like that. Like you can go eat out at a restaurant. You just have to be intentional with your actions and know that you're following something. So if you're going to go, eat out, like you have to still follow whatever plan that you're following. So I started the program. I decided in December that I was going to do this. Like, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And I'm going to do it completely in silence. Like, I don't want any noise. I want to do this on my own. I feel like I already have, I'm very consistent. And if you guys know me, like, I'm super dedicated. If I do something, it's like to the extreme. I'm a hard-ass worker, and I know I am because I just put myself in these situations to do it. I'm like, you know what? I feel like this is like the next thing. I need to see what this is, because again, I'm like hashtag 75 easy. you know? So I'm like, I need to see what this is. So I set the date. It was right after Jason's birthday. It coincided with the New Year challenge.
Right.
So I was like, perfect. I started a week before everybody else. It was January 11th. Marked it on my calendar when my completion date would be. And I'm like, holy shit, that's like Valentine's Day, our anniversary. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of shit that's happening in there. But, you know, I'm like, whatever.
The end of the challenge grub situation.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever. You know, I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna make this work. So started, you know, on that Monday or whatever, and just started. Like the first couple days were a bit of a challenge to kind of fit in the outdoor workout. I'm not used to working out outside. You know, I'm used to working out inside. I have no issue going and running, but also had to be smart about it. I had to know that can I survive 75 days of running for 45 minutes outside? Probably not. I'm going to be sore. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to
dehydrated.
Dehydrated, right? So I had to be smart about it, just knowing my own body, knowing what I'm capable of doing. Because again, I wanted to complete this program. I didn't want to kill myself so much in the beginning where I couldn't follow through with the program. Right. So I had to be smart about it. I still did all my virtual workouts. I still did on the days off. The hardest days were Saturdays when I had to teach here the 3 classes, clean here, mop the floor, which I would have hoped that would have counted as my indoor workouts.
Intention.
Yeah, so I had to do all that, go home, eat, do an indoor workout, rest, and then do an outdoor workout in a matter of 6 hours, 7 hours. You know, so that was the hardest day, and those days sucked. And then Sundays sucked too because working out, meal prepping, and you know, Sundays. You know, so it was hard. Those were my hardest days. In the beginning, I was walking at 8 o'clock at night, figured out that's not going to work because I'm like, I can't see anything. I'm like, I need like lights and I can't see anything. So that wasn't going to work. So it was really shifting the schedule to kind of figure out how I was going to make this work because kids, gym, lifestyle, the house, Jason,
the balance,
everything, the balance of everything. So it was super challenging, you know, fitting that stuff in.
So the majority of your indoor workouts were like the virtual classes that you teach for the gym.
Yep.
And then your outdoor workouts were just running, or did you do anything walking?
Yeah, so my outdoor workouts were walking. I walked for 45 minutes. My goal was to hit anywhere from 2.5 to 3 miles in those 45 minutes. So I would try to speed walk to get it done.
I have
seen every house in my neighborhood. I have seen everybody's garage. I know what everybody drives. I know all the routes to make exactly the 45 minutes. I mean, it has been a great experience.
She completed the census for everyone in her neighborhood.
Everybody that wants to know who's home at certain hours, I got you. I know what it is.
Creeper.
I've gotten ideas from people's houses like, oh wow, their landscaping is really nice. Like I've listened to so many podcasts. I've got 3 favorite podcasts, this being one of them.
Yeah.
You know? So I've listened to so many podcasts and so many self-motivational, you know, things during those workouts. But yeah, so I did majority of it was walking. On the days that I could not do that, I dragged my road bike on the trainer, which is where you hook it in, to my backyard outside, because you can't be, to my understanding, again, I'm trying not to deviate from the plan, no covering. So even though I was outside, I pulled it out so I was, you know, under the sky, you know, whatever. So I
remember you and I having that discussion because I was like, well, I mean, so long as, you know, maybe if you're in the garage with the door open, that would count as outside
because there was a lot of confusion.
There's no AC, and you're like, I don't think that's gonna work. Like,
I was like, even though it's hot as hell, I was like, I don't know, I don't think that's gonna work. So there was some confusion, and there was some things that I didn't feel were completely 100% like. There wasn't a lot of clarification on certain things, and that was being one of them, because I remember I asked you about that. Like, do you think that me working out in the garage makes sense? And then I was like, the more I listened to podcasts, the more Andy was like, listen, I don't care if you got to drag your treadmill outside. I don't care if you got to drag your barbells outside, your weights. Like, it has to be done outside. Right. Like, no deviating from that. It has to be done outside. You could jump rope for 1 hour. You could do jumping jacks, push-ups, squats, whatever you want for that hour. It doesn't matter, as long as it's, or 45 minutes, as long as it's outside. So I would take my bike out, and I found that anywhere from like 10 to 15 miles ended up being like the 45 minutes, which worked for me until like I realized that like I kind of messed up my knee a little bit. So I was like, okay, let me just flip-flop back and forth. Right. There were a couple of times where I had to ride in the rain. There was one workout that I had to do in the pouring rain for 45 minutes.
That was a question I had. So like, even regardless of what the weather was outside, I mean, outside of like severe thunderstorms and tornadoes and whatnot, like, you know, you work with what you got.
Right.
But you also have until you go to sleep to get it done.
Correct. So you have until you go to sleep, meaning if you go to, it's not the day, it's not midnight.
It's not 24 hours, it's just...
It's when you go to sleep. So if you go to sleep at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, you have until that time to do it. And it's funny because Andy jokes about it. Like one time it slips his mind and he's like, shit, I got to do like the 45-minute workout. So he dragged his bike outside and did 45 minutes at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Oof. And then he was going to sleep. Because you figure if you're going to sleep at 2, 3 in the morning, most likely you're not waking up at 7. You're cutting into the rest of that late morning. So your days are kind of in line with everybody else. You know, I wake up at 5, I go to sleep at 10, you know, so that's my day. So that's just what it works. If I woke up at 8, maybe I'd be going to sleep at midnight, you know, I don't know. You know, so you have the whole day to complete those task items. And if you realize, shit, I didn't take my progress picture, you better get up and do it before you go to sleep. So, so the workouts are regardless of the environment. Does not matter if it's raining, if it's snowing. Luckily, we don't deal with any of that. Right. But I had somebody that was dealing with like negative temperatures, like bundled up, walking in the snow for 45 minutes. We don't deal with that, but we deal with the rain and stuff like that. Obviously, be smart about it. Don't be stupid. You know, if it is thunderstorm, does it make sense for you to go out and run? My parents told me not to run and, you know, not to be outside when there's a thunderstorm. So I still.
And we live in South Florida, so like that thunderstorm is probably going to pass within 15, 20 minutes anyway.
Exactly. So you kind of have to weigh out what you got going on, and it's all about planning those workouts. You got to plan. You got to figure out. You work, okay, fine. So where can I figure this out? Like, where can I plug in these? Because those are really, I think that in the reading is probably the longest. Yeah. You know, maybe the meal prep and stuff like that can become hard as well. Just trying to time consuming. But everything else, progress picture takes 2 seconds.
Where did you find the time to get your reading in?
I did in the morning. You know, when I first woke up, or at night. I couldn't do it sitting down like in the bed because I'd be like,
let it start going like this.
Yeah, so that was hard. I tried to pair it sometimes with like if I was eating lunch or on the weekends, I'd eat out back and I'd read at the same time.
Oh, so you weren't like driving and reading?
Yeah, no. As much as I wanted to. Maybe if I had a Tesla and it drove for me, I could read at the same time and do 2 things at one time. Car pickup line for my kids. You know, I would bring my book or, you know, whatever it was. I had read, so that's, you know, it was funny because I was doing the math because you know how much I love math.
Oh, I know it.
So it was 75, obviously 75 days, 75 or more gallons of water, 150 or more workouts, which I did more, 150 workouts. What else did we have? 750 pages of personal development.
Easy. At least, at very, like, this is all minimum. You mean?
Yeah,
like,
minimum. At a minimum.
Program.
Yeah, 750 pages. Progress pictures, at least, you know, the 75, you know, front, side, and back, just how I did the pictures. Right. But no alcohol at all, which, you know, for me, I was like, oh, that's easy. Big deal. But there were a couple times where I'm like, I'm gonna lose my shit with these kids and these people, right. And you know, I'm just about to lose my shit. Like I need like a drink, and I don't even drink. Right. Like I don't even drink, and I'm like, I need a drink. One time towards the end, Jason was like walking around with a drink, and I was like so close to just like, oh, let me try. Just kidding, just kidding. I would have had to spit it out and whatever. But yeah, it was like that close because you forget. Like you kind of get into that routine.
He's like, this isn't something I do regularly. It'd be okay for me to have an Oreo cookie or So what? Speaking of like cheating on a diet and whatnot, what was your diet plan for this? Because I know, like, before you answer that, like I know a lot of people jumped on the carnivore diet, which is another thing that seemed to kind of take off hand in hand with 75 Hard this past year. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not out here eating eggs and cheese and
no. I wonder if that's considered kind of like the keto diet. I don't know if that's. I never heard of that one either. No, the carnivore diet. That's new to me.
Yeah, it's like all
meat and
it's like all protein.
So it's all animal products, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I'd have to look more into it, but like I've seen a lot of people talk
very happy about that. I'm sure there's a lot of controversy.
They're not happy with that one.
Yeah. I've never heard of that diet. So as you know, the diet part was another thing we talked about.
Yeah.
And I was very, very confused on that because I felt like I was already following like a diet. Like I've always, I don't consider myself on a diet ever, but I always feel like I'm following some sort of very systematic routine of eating the foods that I'm supposed to be eating.
Very clean. Very
clean. I don't cheat during the week, but I may have a bite or two of like my kids, like if I'm packing them goldfish, I'll have a goldfish, or if I'm making their breakfast, I'll have a bite, things like that. So that was really challenging, and I had Googled, I joined groups on Facebook to kind of figure out like what kind of diet, like what's a diet? I asked the other two women that I know that are doing the challenge, and I said, well, I guess if I cut out my Friday night pizza out, my fries, and cut out like all like I guess the fun foods.
Yeah.
The fun foods, and then just stick to my very routine macro diet is what I basically ended up doing. And it kind of worked out well with the New Year, New You challenge because everybody else was doing it. So it really helped me stay on track my food. Jason was doing it, so it was like super easy. I'm like, yes. I got it.
Got it. You pulled a whole WandaVision and created this world around you. Like, I know you didn't watch WandaVision, but those of you that watch WandaVision know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'm like, huh? What? So I ended up doing the macro diet, but not if it fits your macros, meaning that I can have a slice of cheesecake as long as it fits into my daily macros. Like I didn't do that. I still stuck to eating clean, eating healthy, but don't let that get confused with like chicken, broccoli, and rice 6 times a day, because that's definitely not, I feel not a way of living, not a way of, having any sort of diet, because you set yourself up for mass amounts of regrets and rebound after any sort of challenge. And I've learned this from when I did compete in the NPC, when I competed, that any sort of like super structured routine, super clean diet is gonna mess you up when you're done, because the second that you start eating anything outside of that plan, your body is like, what the hell is this? And it goes crazy, and you deal with bloat, inflammation, lots of issues that can be very damaging to your body. So I also knew like I didn't want to have adrenal fatigue. I didn't want to have hormonal issues if I did 2 extreme workouts a day, if I did extreme dieting, those types of things. I knew I wasn't going to do that. And that wasn't the purpose of me doing this challenge anyways.
Right.
So I didn't want to do that. I didn't need to or want to lose weight. I wanted to do the challenge to see how I could physically change, but more mentally, how I could mentally change. So that's basically how the diet went down. I mean, there were 2 instances that Jason and I went out to dinner, and I was able to order like a steak with nothing on it and like vegetables. Same thing. Like I know, I ask, how it's prepared, what's in it and stuff like that. And I track it. So I know I'm still eating my protein, my veggies, things like that. So don't get confused with like a diet where you have to like, you can never eat out or you can never do this or that. You can't have your alcohol and you can't have your slice of cheesecake. I'm sorry. I still haven't got my cheesecake.
So that's why during this whole New Year, New You challenge, it was like, okay, no alcohol for y'all this week. no fried foods, no added sugar, right? But then I would imagine that was tough to, or maybe not tough, but like it presented itself when we had that end of challenge celebration and we had all that wonderful barbecue and
I was able to eat like the meats,
the protein and the salad.
I didn't do any, I wasn't able to eat the corn nuggets that I really wanted to eat. That looked so good. No garlic bread. No, I had my salad. I had the meats and stuff. No alcohol. None of that. Even like we've had dinners, we've had events, we've had stuff happen. Valentine's Day, I couldn't eat, the treats that I wanted to. Like it just wasn't. It wasn't going to happen. Like this is just what it was, which was fine, It just made this challenge more powerful, and it made my mind more powerful to realize that, what? I can do whatever I tell myself that I can do.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. And people understanding that if you truly want to do something or a challenge or whatever it is, like you can do it, but you got to shift that mindset of like, this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to do. And this is how I'm going to do it,
Yeah. I mean, I broke during the New Year, New You challenge on January 24th. It was a friend of mine's birthday, and I know like it was no alcohol whatsoever. And like, I went to a friend of mine's birthday, and like, I've known her from way back, and everybody that was there was like, "What do you mean you're not drinking?" Like, they knew me from before. Like, you know, we used to drink all the time and drink heavy, you know. Yeah. So when I get there for her birthday party, she's like, "You're not gonna at least have a birthday shot with me?" I was like,
"Oh Lord,
okay." You know what? And I gave in, and I had that one shot of tequila, and then that was it.
Yeah.
But like, I felt uncomfortable sharing why I wasn't drinking. You know, I didn't want to sound like, "Oh, I'm part of this challenge at my gym." You know, especially because I don't know. Maybe it's my own distorted way of thinking, but it's like, you know, if I looked a little more in shape, I would be comfortable saying like, "Oh no, I'm part of this challenge," and you know, it's not a, you know. But I don't know. I was very.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like a secret, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's hard to share sometimes what you're doing, especially if it's extreme and it's uncommon to most people. Like, it's hard to share because they don't quite understand what it is that you're doing. And I feel like that a lot of times that's kind of sometimes why I keep things like to myself, because sometimes the explanation makes it harder for you to continue doing the challenge, because you're like I guess you kind of feel bad, you know, explaining it, and then you kind of feel like guilty, and then
you're surrounded by people that are like, "Oh, I could never do that. What do you do? You're crazy," you know. Like,
right. So it makes it challenging, and it makes you question your abilities and what you're really capable of doing. Right. So I guess peer pressure is hard, really, really hard, especially when you're not, you know, you're in an outside group of what you're used to, and you have those temptations and you have those things. You're like, well, you know, sometimes just people don't understand always, you know, why you're doing things.
What was the hardest part of this for you? And did you have any temptation of that sort where like, oh, I really want to give in and just quit?
There were some times. I mean, I can break it down in the best, you know, memory that I have, by kind of like, I guess, the phases that I call them. But like we had spoke about a little bit before, in the beginning, days 1 through 10, 12 are really easy. They're not hard. 1 through 12. Because you figure, you know what, if I mess up, I'm just going to start over. Like, I'm right here. Like, I could see day 1, like, behind my shoulder. Like, I can see it's right there. So, you know what, if I need to start over, I'll start over. So that day 1 through 12, 15, you know, fine. But then once you pass over that line, it's kind of, once you get 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, you're like, okay, like I'm really, like I'm building some traction, like I'm moving. Once you get to day 25-ish, it becomes very redundant, and if you don't have anybody doing it with you, it's kind of like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I really doing this? And you get a little emotional about it too, because you're doing this and you have like no cheats. Like, you don't have a cheat day. When I competed, you had a cheat meal and like a refuel meal. Like, you have none of that. So there's nothing to look forward to. You were looking forward to day like 76, you know?
Which is almost 85 days away. Like,
exactly. That's like next year. That's like, you know, 2022. I can't even see day 76 right now. So day 25 was rough. And then you get past that, whatever. You just keep moving. You just keep going. You're building traction and you're doing the same things every day. There are instances where sometimes you forget a progress picture and you're like, oh shit, I gotta wake up, I gotta go take the freaking picture, whatever it is. Or the water, damn it, you know, it's Saturday, I've only drank half a gallon of water and it's like 7 o'clock, now I gotta chug all this water before I go to sleep. Then I gotta deal with waking up to go pee and all this shit, you know, so you gotta deal with that also. There were, you know, life happens. Kids, spouses, work, shit happens where you just want to throw in the towel because you know what? I can't focus on this 75 hard because I have all this shit over here that I need to take care of. Right. And I really don't want to do this because this is stupid. Like, why am I doing it? I'm not getting an award at the end. I'm not like stepping on stage. You know, I'm doing this. Like, why am I doing this? You know, like it becomes kind of like...
For 7 red balloons and 5 black balloons.
Right? And 1 gold.
And 1 gold.
I do it for the gold. So, and then days 55 to 60, super, super hard because now you have to remind yourself of those little tasks. Right. Because it becomes part of your routine, very easy to forget. But you're also at the finish line and you're afraid of messing up. So it's like you're very... sometimes you're like so like detailed, like, oh my gosh, did I just cheat? Like I've lost my mind. Like I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Like I think did I smell the cookie or did I taste the cookie? I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. It becomes delusional. Right. I don't know what's happening anymore. And but man, when you roll into that last week, you're like, you could see the end. You could see the end. And I wasn't even looking forward to a major cheat meal or anything like that, because the purpose of the program is to break you of those habits. That's the point of the program. Like, it's not 21 days. You need something longer than that. You need something longer than 30 days, 60 days. So 75 days is like that magic number, I guess. But you need something that's going to break you and help you realize that, you know what, I don't need cheat meals. Like, I don't need to do this. Maybe I don't need to do the double workouts a day. You know, you don't need to be so aggressive, but at the same time, like, you need routine, you need structure, you need dedication, you need focus in your life in order to push past those things.
I didn't partake in this journey with you. I didn't jump on this 75 hard train, but I do think that part of the reason for this challenge was to teach yourself accountability to yourself.
Yep.
Because like you said, like, no one is out here, you know, snitching on you or saying, hey, Sandy, you know, you can't eat that, or Sandy, you didn't work out twice today, or Sandy,
did you take that picture?
Right. You know, so like it's up to you, one, to hold yourself accountable, to say, like, I need to get this stuff done, and two, to say, I got to start over because I goofed up and didn't take my picture, or I didn't drink my gallon of water.
Right.
You know?
Because
no one's going to know.
On day 60, if you mess up, are you going to be honest with yourself and say that I got to start over at day 1? Right. Because I don't know if I mentioned that, but if you mess up, you start over at day 1. Right. Day 1. If it's day 70 and you mess up, you start at day 1. Like, that's, you know, so it's like, are you going to be honest with yourself and be like, well, yeah, I messed up, I need to start over. You know, so it is like, there's no accountability, there's no coach checking in with you, and that is the hardest thing, because you need to learn about how to be truthful to yourself, how to, you know, be able to pick up these challenges and do them for you, not for anybody else, in silence. You know, in silence. Let the end, you know, be your victory. You know, that you knew that you did this for you, and like, wow, like, holy shit, like, I did this. Like, this is cool.
So you've been doing the virtual classes for over a year now.
Yeah, crazy.
And pretty consistently. I know you know, Wednesdays was like kind of the rest, recovery, do what you need to do kind of day. But you haven't taken a week off from virtual classes in like over forever. A year.
I know.
Until you got to these last few days of this challenge.
I know.
So as if 75 hard, it wasn't hard enough already. If you guys don't know Coach Sandy by now, you know this woman goes above and beyond always. I'm not even going to steal your thunder. I want you to explain to these people what kind of foolishness you came up with to finish this 75 hard program.
A stupid freaking idea. A stupid idea was really what it was.
But it worked.
So
like, it's only stupid if it doesn't work. So it was crazy. It was a crazy idea.
The great thing is that I'm sitting here today and I'm alive. I survived. I'm alive and I survived. So you guys know that some of the crew here did the Goggins challenge, the 4x4x48. I was going to do that challenge as well. But I backed out from that challenge for numerous reasons. One of the reasons being that I didn't want to compromise the end of this challenge, because I still had, that was the beginning of March. I just finished, you know, Friday, whatever day that was, the 23rd, 24th, whatever day Friday was. Right. 28th? I don't know. 27th?
6th. Saturday was the 27th.
Yeah, so the 26th was my final day, and the Goggins challenge was March 5th weekend. So I was going to do the challenge, backed out for numerous reasons. One of the reasons being that I did not want to risk getting injured or risk having to take a rest day, because I cannot take a rest day. Like, I still have to do my 2 workouts every single day, regardless of anything. So I had backed out of that challenge, super bummed about it, because I really wanted to do it. Because again, I'm all about challenges, all about doing something different, regardless of what you think you're capable of doing. It don't matter. You do it anyways. You challenge yourself, you finish what you started. So come to the end of this challenge, which I had talked to you a bit about, I was like, you know, I want to do something. And I was going to do the Goggins challenge at the end. I was going to do the 4x4x48 at the end. But then I was starting to think about it, and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna, work or whatever. So I was like, well, I could do 75 of something, So I was like, well, I could do 75 miles, right? I'm like, okay, well, that sounds like, okay.
4x4 by 48, 75.
By 75. 75 by 75 sounds like kind of pretty and nice, or 75, 7.5 by 75. I didn't really know, and I forgot, what were the two things? I think I told you 75 miles in 7 days?
In 7 days.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but wait,
it gets crazier. Like,
what about 75 miles in the last 75 hours?
Now, mind you, she's texting me this, and I'm like,
bitch, be crazy.
I'm like, oh, Lord. Like, how do I tell her I don't want her to do this, because I would hate to see her be in this final stretch and then some godforsaken injury happens and she has to start back at square one. Like, but, I think I mentioned to you, like, I don't think it's a good idea, but, like, if anybody can do it, it's you. Like,
That's what you said. Yep. So I mapped it out, and I figured, all right, I'm going to do no virtual. It happened to be spring break for us and our kids. So I was like, okay, check. This could work. And then I did, I mapped it out, and I was like, okay, if I start on Tuesday morning at 6 a.m., I could finish Friday morning. I have to be done by 9 a.m. That's 75 hours. I didn't need to run through the night. My only rules were I needed to complete 22 miles each day. And then the last day, obviously finishing up, I think it was like 11 miles that last day. So I was like, all right. So I put it on an Excel spreadsheet. I know I sent it to you, a screenshot. I'm like, within like 2 seconds of me telling you, I'm like, look, here's the spreadsheet. Boom, bam, done. We're going to do this. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to do this.
I'm there. I'm spiritually, mentally, everything but physically. Like.
Right? So I had to map it out. I planned it out. I still had to do my outdoor workout. So I needed to figure out how I was going to do the miles outside with my kids being home. So I had to kind of work that in there. And
pack up, kids, we're going for a walk.
So yeah, one day I did that to them. I'm like, guys, we gotta go. So so I started last Tuesday, 6 a.m. I did I started with my 7 miles on the treadmill. And then from there, I just kind of worked through and just checked off my miles as I went. Some days I had no choice, where I had to do a mile and I had to go, watch what's on the stove so it doesn't burn. And I had to go do 2 miles and finish dinner and just back and forth as long as I did, those miles. There was one day where I had to take my kids. I'm like, kids, let's go. We're going to Abu and Papa's house. You guys are going to go on your scooters. I'm going to walk, run, and we're going to do this. We did the 3 miles or whatever it was. And then if we weren't done, we went to the park. I'm like, let's go, guys, around the park. We got to go. But I did it. Yeah, I did the 75. I did the 75 miles. I continued with, the eating and the hydration. That was the biggest thing, was just staying on track. Because I knew, again, I knew it was a stupid idea when I entered like the end of day one. Like I was like, this. I don't know if this was a really good idea.
I didn't want to be the one to say it, but like.
And then I was like, well, nobody knows about it except Anthony and Jason. So nobody really knows I'm doing this. I mean, I could just back out. But I'm like, you know what? The story at the end. Like I want to share this at the end and show people that, you know what? As stupid as it sounded, as stupid as it felt, it's possible. Mm-hmm. Like it's possible. Like you could do it. Like anybody can do it. Anybody can do anything. And remind you, I didn't run this whole 75 days. Like there were a couple days where I ran, but I tried to maximize my 45 minutes by stretching it out with the workout, because I knew that if I wear and tear on my body, like I wouldn't be able to keep up. So I had to do a lot of walks, power walks, a lot of walks. So I wasn't running. Right. So committing to those last 75 miles in 75 hours, I knew time was of the essence. I knew I was going to have to run most of it. I had no choice but to walk some of it because I had my kids with me or whatever. I needed some time, to just be able to recover in between. But anything's possible. Anything.
I'm proud of you. Like,
Thank you.
Mean, I know you don't need me to tell you that, that you don't need me to be proud of you, but like that, I knew you could do it. And I knew you were going to do it because like once you set your mind to something, you're like, that's just what you do. But it's definitely inspiring to see you work all this stuff around your goals. You know what I mean? So it's like you almost give us the message that like there's no fucking excuse. Like there's really no reason why you can't do what you want to do.
Right.
You know, and like it all seemed to work out in the sense that like that last week is spring break. Yeah. You can take the week off from virtual because, you know, people are obviously on spring break and have their kids to get this done.
Right.
You know, and I also think it's pretty awesome that whether your kids decided to go with you or not, like they supported both you on this journey and they supported Jason on his journey when he was doing the 4x4x4 48 challenge. You know, like I don't know, it's a beautiful thing to see that your family is involved in supporting you as well. Right. Both you and Jason on this fitness journey.
Yeah. You know, it's cool. And it's the biggest thing is being an example to them and to others. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody, I feel like it is our duty as gym owners, you know, and everybody has their different views because, you know, people own gym and they don't work out and whatever, that's their decision. But I feel like it's my duty to be a product of the product and, you know, and to show people that it is possible regardless of what your excuses are, because there are no excuses. And I get like really heated when I talk about like things like this and super excited because I know what the struggle is. Like, I have kids. We're a business owner. Jason works another full-time job. Like, I'm still cooking and have a house. I don't have somebody taking care of my kids and my house and doing all these things. So there are no excuses. So when people come to me and tell me like, oh, you know, I couldn't do the workout today because I had a headache, I'm like, are you serious? Right. Like, that's what held you back today? Like, you have to realize that it is in the moments of your biggest struggles that you have your biggest accomplishments. Thanks. You know, when you push past those struggles. Of course, there are times where you just can't. I mean, you're extremely ill. Like, I don't need you over here like throwing up on the floor trying to do burpees, you know, unless the burpees are making you throw up and it's not other things, you know what I mean? Right. Like, you know, in different situations, of course. I mean, just like the outdoor workouts, like be smart about it. You know, if there is a thunderstorm outside and it's severe, I wouldn't expect you to go outside and do a 45-minute workout. You know what I mean? But if it's drizzling, I mean, you better go outside. I don't care if you got to put a raincoat on, if you got to run with umbrella, you know?
But Sandy said my hands need to be on my side unless I'm sprinting. Like,
but yeah, I mean, things like that. Like, you really have to push yourself to do it, because where are you going in life? Right. Are you trying to just stay here and be safe? Right. Or are you trying to challenge yourself and step outside of your comfort zone to be able to do things that you never really thought were possible? And that's where success happens, and that's where you see your biggest changes in your life, not just fitness. Like, this 75 Hard was an amazing experience. Like, I had an amazing journey. It wasn't #75 easy. I realized that very quickly, that I had to readjust everything and change everything. And it was 75 hard. It was hard. It changed me as far as like thoughts and priorities, and knowing that, you know, if you have to do something, like, you have to find the time to do it. Your health is super important. Also being smart about it and knowing that, you know, I can't be extremist, but I can still do what needs to be done, you know, to get the job done. To hit those challenges and to hit those goals and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it was a cool experience. I don't know if I'd ever do it again. Honestly.
So you wouldn't do these phase 1, 2, and 3?
So should we talk about that now?
It was a perfect transition.
Right?
I think we should.
So let's talk about that now, because I didn't know there were other phases. Mm-hmm. So of course, after we had a conversation where we were talking about, which we won't tell everybody the details of it, but we were talking about a challenge here at the gym, and I'm talking about.
I'm out. Right? They gonna hate me. Like, I had nothing to do with this.
I'm talking about. I was talking to you, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, it'd be cool to do like these 3 phases of like kind of like the new year, new you, but on different like phases and different levels, and you have to like transition, you have to graduate from one to the next or whatever. And then
mind you, without knowing anything about these 3 phases of 75 Hard,
I'm like, see, Andy and I think alike. Just kidding. So then a week or 2 later, you're like, oh, did you know about the different phases of 75 Hard? I'm like, huh? Right. Like, literally the Scooby-Doo, who? What?
Ruh-roh.
What? And so then, of course, I go back to my podcast and I Google or whatever, and I'm like, and so I started listening, and I'm like, holy shit, there's other phases. Yeah. And then I started listening to them, and I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I want to do those other phases. But Andy Frisella does have other phases. You could Google them. There's pictures now everywhere. Everywhere. I think I've seen like a good handful of people that I know, like on Instagram, posting 75 Hard and that they're doing it.
I've seen a lot of people start.
Yeah.
And then like just
I don't know
stop
what's going
posting
on.
about it altogether.
Yeah.
And like I don't have to ask
the courage
them.
to be
yeah,
like,
I don't
hey, yo.
like, hey, where you at, big dog? Like,
right.
you day one 7 days in a row now? Like, what?
Where are we at? We did have some people that we know that have done it, or started to do it, stopped doing it, started over, and then made up, an excuse in my eyes to justify the reason why they're new. Again, I don't believe in excuses unless you are ill or you're injured or something, then I understand not doing it. But saying that, oh, well, I have, this other challenge coming up in next month and I don't want this to compromise that, that's a bunch of bullshit, because you can work everything around everything else. Right. Like I said, it doesn't need to be too extreme workouts. Right. You can walk twice a day, which most of us are already doing. Mm-hmm. You can walk 45 minutes twice a day, which doesn't take a lot of energy and a lot of wear and tear on your body, and still be able to participate in other things. So I don't really believe in excuses. People that have put down the program, that have said that, that it sets you up for for failure afterwards, because you're taking a progress picture every day, so you're kind of like looking at yourself, in a different way every day. But I think it's important to do those progress pictures so that you could see your progress. Yeah. Regardless of whether you're trying to lose weight or not.
I think the progress photos, I think we touched on that earlier, were also set up for the discipline and accountability.
Yes.
Because like it's such an easy task that it's something that you would just push to the side and not even really think about it. It's like, I can get that done later. It's not something like, I got to get these 2 workouts done and I got to go read these pages and I got to drink this big ass bucket of water. Like, that if you forget to take this little step, so it kind of forces you to pay attention to detail. It's
the discipline and the attention to detail. Like, you hit it exactly. Like, there's a part of your brain that does that targets that attention to detail. And when you do those little task items, that just forces you now to process and to think differently when you're doing other things in life. Right. Work, taking care of your family. Like, you're more attention to those little things that in most cases you would overlook, because you're like, oh, that whatever. I always think about cleaning. I don't know why. I'm sorry.
Because you brag about the floors in this gym. We know that you like to clean.
I guess because attention to detail, like I'm always thinking about like cleaning or whatever, but it is one of those things that most people would not notice that little bit of dust on like a windowsill.
On the ledge, right.
But when you're like more attention to detail and you're exercising that part of your brain, like you're more looking at that and you're like, oh, I need to wipe that down, I need to clean it. And it's just setting you up for more things for you to pay attention to in your life, which is what helps you change and shifts those mindsets. If you're so focused on just the big things, what about all those little things?
There's a lot of cracks in between that
a
are
lot,
missing.
A lot that actually support you doing the bigger things and that help you grow as an individual. So all those little things. So that's why I see it as a great program. The whole setup was great. I enjoyed it. As far as those other phases, like this is supposed to be the boot camp. Yeah. Then you have phase 1, which you add in the same things you were doing before, but now you add in like a 5-minute cold shower, which I'm like,
hell no.
Just like that. I'm like, I can't even jump in my pool.
Nope.
Like
80 degrees. Thanks, Kevin. Like
I can't even. I'm like, I told Jason this and he just laughed because he knew. He knew that I hate the cold. Like, I hate the cold. So I'm like, well, I was listening to Andy and he said that, you could like take your shower and then afterward you turn it, you don't even have to turn it cold super, you could kind of transition into it and then you stand there for 5 minutes. I'm like, no. I don't want to do it. Yeah. But at the same time, I can see how that changes you. I can see. You're looking at me like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I can see how it would change me too. Like,
I can see, because it puts you in an uncomfortable situation. Yeah. And being in uncomfortable situations is what forces you to change and to be better. So I understand the concept, absolutely. So that's the next phase, was adding in the 5-minute cold shower. And I think that was it. And then you had to add in the hobby that we had talked about.
Pick up something new that you had never done before.
That's going to help you grow as an individual, help you grow. And so you do that. So you do the 75 days. Then you do the. I think you have a choice to take a break. You could take up to 30-day break.
Yeah,
I think something like that.
I think it was required. Like,
in between, well, you could go from boot camp to the first phase immediately, I think.
Okay.
But then you have to take a 30-day break in between each phase afterwards. And these phases are only 30 days. So 30 days is phase 1. Then you have to take a 30-day break. Like, you have to take a 30-day break, and the purpose of that is to see if you can. Yeah, and to see if you can continue with your task items and not go buck wild, drinking and eating all this junk food and stuff like that, and then try to get back on track. So the next phase is only what you did in the boot camp. So it's exactly what I just did. Okay, fine. I was like, I got that. That's cool. Then you take a break for 30 days, and the final phase now is adding in everything that you did in boot camp, and then you have to talk to a stranger every single day. And I'm like, do you realize what world we live in? Like, if you go talk to somebody at the grocery store, they're like,
6 feet, please. And
why are you
also,
talking to me?
Don't talk to me.
Who are you? Why are you talking to me? Right. So I was like,
and it's not just a
done.
It's not just a hi. It's like a conversation,
and it has to be with somebody that you don't know. It has to be with a new person. One person a day. So I was like, well, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm like, well, I could just be like, listen, I'm doing this challenge. I need to talk to you for 5 minutes. Can we just talk?
Yeah.
But the purpose of that is also to help you grow as an individual and help you step outside your comfort zone, because we're so used to hiding and being in our own space and not growing and not meeting new people and stuff like that. So for somebody like me, being a business owner, entrepreneur, very beneficial, but I'm like, you had me at cold shower.
Yeah, right. Definitely lost me at that point. So I know you mentioned earlier, like, you're not even really doing this for anything. And like, I don't want to do it for 75 balloons or whatever, but I wanted to show the world this real quick.
Aww.
Congratulations, you badass motherfucker,
that
you.
That is so cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Am I opening this now or later?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to eat your cauliflower potatoes on camera.
This is so cool. Thank you.
So I went to Publix, and they didn't have a 7 or a 5 balloon, because I was going to come and add that to the collection. I'm not trying to outdo Jason, but like, I definitely wanted to show my appreciation for you.
That is so cool. What a cool card. Aww. That's cool. I love that.
Super badass.
Right? This is so... Aw, thank you. My favorite thing ever.
I was like,
this is a key to my heart. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Youthebomb.com. That is so cool. Thank you. Very thoughtful guy. Very thoughtful. Yeah. Thanks, Aunt.
75 hard done.
My partner, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so now I'm like, what do I do?
And that's what scares me the most. Like, I tried to buy us time, y'all. Like, y'all probably didn't see it in the car, but it was like, like, enjoy your coffee, but also take it easy on us. So I tried to get us a little bit of leeway, but knowing Sandy, April, May, and June are probably going to be pretty scary,
right? I know it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I may have you guys doing some outdoor workouts.
That I'd be okay with.
Right? That would be cool. That would be cool to do.
Hit up the beach or something, or like a park. Or
something. I mean,
cool.
we used to do beach workouts. We used to do outdoor workouts at Vista View. We used to do stuff like that. It was just COVID happened, and here we are, like, so timid about what we can and cannot do, and how many people can we have and stuff like that. So that's kind of put a halt on some of that stuff. But we need to get back into it, because it's fun. Yeah. It's great to be able to get outside of your elements and do something little, get dirty, get crazy.
Right. I mean, I got to get ready for this Goliath gauntlet.
Right. We have to prepare for that.
Yeah.
We have to. Listen, you could do 75 hard.
Huh?
Hashtag.
You said, what'd you say? I can't hear you. You started breaking up. I'm losing service. Like,
I know, right? You could do that. Listen, I did invite you to do it in the beginning.
You did.
I did invite you to do it.
You did. I turned it down because I
know. Yeah.
I forgot what my reasoning was.
I know what your reasoning was.
What was it?
Because you had just started the Gut Muscle CEO.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then you were doing your
my home workouts.
Yep, you were doing your home workouts. You were doing your videos for your recipes.
Yeah.
So So you're doing that, and you had a lot on your plate, which, I give you credit for that, for focusing, wanting to focus on that, which is understandable. And I get it. I invited Jason to do it too with me, and unfortunately, again, like with the schedule and stuff, I'm like, dude, listen, on Tuesdays you can wake up at like 3 a.m, you can work out, and then then I could teach the class. He's like, you are crazy. Stop. I'm like, well, then you could just teach the class. I'll teach the 8:15, then you could like take the 8:15, and then I'll teach the 4:45. My mind was all like making it work. I was like a puzzle.
Hey, here she go with the WandaVision shit. Like,
I know. Listen, do I need to watch this now?
You should.
So I
need you to understand that reference, because that's gold right there.
Yeah, because I was trying to get him to do it too with me, and now that so many other people that we're seeing that are interested in doing it and stuff, but I wanted to do it to show everybody else that it can be done. Anybody can do it. Yeah. Of course, you have to want to do it. I didn't do it to lose weights. Right. My pictures probably don't show a lot, but physically, like, I see physical changes. Even with eating like 2,000, 2,500 calories a day, because I'm following, a macro diet, which I still am. Yeah. Today I went for a walk. I'm not doing 45 minutes, but I'm doing like 30 minutes. I committed to doing 2 to 2.5 miles of walking a day. I just felt like it was just very rejuvenating. Right. Forces me to get up and get outside. I'm not gonna do workouts on Saturdays anymore.
Yeah, so you get to take a break, or like take your foot off the gas for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I didn't do it, like after the 75 miles, I took a break on that Saturday, I walked on Sunday, and then right back to it, on Monday or whatever. But I missed it on Saturday, but I also don't want to feel guilty for not doing it. I don't want to feel like obsessive, because it could become obsessive. So
this is episode 7.
Yeah.
And you finished the challenge on Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Dude, stop. Stop.
75.
That's cool.
That's pretty dope.
That's cool.
That's pretty dope.
I mean, only we could make that happen. Come on.
Without even like thinking about it too. It was like, that's...
See, shit like that, when stuff like that happens, regardless of what your beliefs are, everything is like everything is fit together like a puzzle.
Right, the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's really cool. But yeah, here we are. Yeah. What's next, man? What's next?
Oh, I'm nervous. I don't even want to ask that question. I just show me what's next. You know what I mean? Like, just, I already know. I'm tired of burpees, and April ain't even gotten here yet.
No, I know. We just talk about it.
And hold on, before you go any further, I could have sworn yesterday in class with you were like, this is the last day of March Madness. You guys don't have to do any more of that. And then
Did I?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like,
the last day you had to do these reps.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, this is it. No more March Madness. And then I come into class today, and Jason's like, yeah, after this we got March Madness and then the finale. I was like,
the hell?
No, wait a minute, because this is false advertisement, because your business partner told me yesterday this was the last day for March Madness. But,
yeah, today and tomorrow. 31st is the last day, okay. March 31st.
All right, so now I got the clarification. So
yes, last day. So today you guys did 10 burpees, 25 push-ups, squats, sit-ups. Tomorrow is the same thing. Then we roll into April, which April is Autism Awareness Month, which we do every year, and we support Puzzle Piece Now, which is a foundation here locally that we support. And I just communicated with Christy this morning that runs the organization, just to make sure everything was still the same and similar and stuff like that, so we could just kind of touch on that. And she's like, yeah, everything's good to go. So we're going to do that again this year. We're going to do it just in April, even though they extended it to May, just with, everything going on, giving everybody the opportunity.
You're not going to extend the challenge, though.
Just April. Because May we have Murph.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. That's why I was like, I'm well aware.
So April we do burpees. We do burpees all month long, and we encourage you guys to do burpees only during the workouts. It can only happen during the workouts, in between stations. So it can't happen like before the workout. It can't happen in the warm-up. Only in between stations you can do additional burpees on top of. So you can cut your break and do burpees while you're waiting to start your station. And every burpee that you do, we tally it up on our board, and we donate 1 penny for every burpee. So the burpees do add up.
Who's going to be sitting there like tallying?
Nobody.
Okay,
it is be honest with yourself.
Oh,
and
yeah. I mean,
else.
you won't be able to see it. Like, I'm going to make sure all of my burpees get accounted for.
Yep.
But I'm not.
So everybody, it's a 100%, you got to do it on your own, type of thing. Nobody's counting them. If you decide that in the workout, I'm going to do 5 burpees in between each one, or each station, depending on, I guess, how many stations there are, things like that. And then, of course, additional burpees count when we say, like, April burpees, because it could be part of the warm-up.
Yeah, we do burpees in class.
Right.
That automatically count.
Only if they're designated for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So, like, certain ones, like if birthday burpees, we may say these count towards April, and then you just count them, and then you'll just tally it up on the board on your own, and you'll know.
And Larry's consecutive burpee champion.
He is.
Correct? The past couple years.
Yes. Last year we didn't do it, but then 2 years prior. So we got the belt. It's up there.
I'll include the pictures this time.
we got the belt in 2019. Right. 2019 was when we got the belt. Larry, he was the winner in 2018. 2019. Last year, unfortunately, was kind of a wash, just because there was no way of tracking anything. So this year we are back at it, and we're hoping to do more. So
do we have like a number that he did?
We do. We have it in our system.
Okay, because I'd like to know. I mean,
it was something ridiculous.
I believe it. Like, I'm confident that I can. I want to say compete, not necessarily beat, but like at least give him a run for his money.
Of course.
I'd like to.
Absolutely. I think his competitor was female. One of the females. Yeah, his competitor was one of the females, and it came down to the last day. And he decided he was going to do like 5 classes on the last day. Just to make sure that he was able to get them.
That's commitment right there.
But you know what? And that's, like I said, it's all about the challenge. All about the challenge. And it's just being able to hold that title and to know that you push yourself to do that for a good cause.
Especially for a good cause.
It's all for a good cause. And then we encourage everybody to match their donation. So like if you do 100 burpees, I mean, that's $1. You know what I mean? Right. We encourage everybody to match their number and donate at the end of the month. So if you did 1,000, you donate.
If you go to every single class that month, you increase your chances of winning.
Of course.
Oh, snap.
Shit.
I'm about to have a perfect month on y'all.
All right, I'm about to go on that MindBody app and book my classes right now.
Right now.
Yeah, so it'll be good. Make sure you book the birthday classes too, so that you get extra burpees. Yeah. So so that's April.
I'm still not smiling.
So and in April we do a 5K at the end of the month.
Okay, that's fine.
It's for the same organization. So they have a 5K that you could do, and same thing: walk, jog, run. This is 100%. You can skate it, you can bike it, anything you want to do. You don't have to run it.
Right on.
But we'll host it here as well. You could do it as virtual. You could do it during the month, but we'll host it here on the last Sunday of April, and we'll do a 5K here. We did it for something. We did a 5K here once.
a few times.
Was it that? Yeah, where we actually went to like the fire station, turned around and came back.
Yeah, a few times.
It was, So we're going to do the 5K here, and then we'll have drinks and food, and then we'll follow it up with 2 Sunday workouts, like we would normally do. But that's all for the same thing, and then you would register for that with Puzzle Piece, and, they have the monies there and stuff like that. So. Right on. Yeah, it's a good month.
Yeah, I'm excited. April's going to be exciting for sure. It's going to test my limits. I'm all right with that.
Awesome.
All right, folks. Well, you heard it here first. April is going to suck in the most awesome way possible.
Right?
So
exactly.
Remember, be nice to one another and stay fit, folks. We love you.
Bye, guys. Peace out.